Fear is loud. When you're walking through something uncertain, especially when it's about people you love, fear doesn't whisper, it shouts. It tells you everything that could go wrong, it floods your mind with worst case scenarios, it demands attention like a siren in the night. But here's what I've learned. Fear may be loud, but trust is stronger. Trust doesn't need to yell, it speaks in quiet nudges. It says, keep going. It says, one more step. It says, you're not alone. Whether you call it God, Spirit, the universe, or simply the deeper knowing inside of you, trust is what gets you through nights when answers are nowhere in sight. I've lived it, sitting awake next to a hospital bed, listening to breathing monitors, wondering what tomorrow would bring, or if tomorrow would bring relief at all. And in those moments, it wasn't logic that carried me. It wasn't fear that helped me move. It was trust. Fear demands you sprint. Trust invites you to walk. Fear wants you to panic. Trust calls you to peace. Today, whatever storm you're standing in, trust the next step. You don't have to see the whole path. Faith over fear every single time. Sometimes you just don't know. You don't know what's coming. You don't know what decision is right. You don't know if everything is going to be okay. But here's the truth most people never say out loud. You don't need the full map to move forward. You just need the next step, the next right thing, even if it's small. Maybe it's a calling, the doctor, even if you're terrified of what they might say. Maybe it's sending an email that closes one door and opens another. Maybe it's choosing to get dressed, take a walk, or pray one more time. Not because you feel strong, but because you refuse to give up. Progress doesn't require certainty. It requires trust. Trust that the next step you're taking matters, even if you don't fully understand where it leads. So no, you don't have to have all the answers today, but you have to have this moment. And if you can move through this moment, even with a mustard seed of faith, you're already stronger than the fear trying to stop you. There's a night I'll never forget. It wasn't the scariest night of my life, but it was the quietest kind of fear. I was sitting on the edge of the bed. My daughter had just fallen asleep after a long, painful day. She was recovering from surgery. I had alarms set for her pain meds. The house was dark, but not peaceful. My mind was racing. You know that moment where you start asking, what if this doesn't go away? What if something else happens? What if I'm not enough to get us through this? That was me, praying, overthinking, trying not to spiral. And then I just sat there. I stopped the questions, I stopped trying to control it all, and I said out loud, God, I trust you. I don't know what's next, but I trust you'll get us through. That night didn't end with a miracle. It ended with surrender. And somehow, that surrender was the miracle. You don't have to know everything. You just have to know who you're trusting. You're not just leading when people are watching. You're leading when no one sees what you're carrying. And what kind of leadership? It doesn't come with applause. It comes with pressure. with tears behind closed doors, with choices made in the dark, for the good of people who may never know what it cost you. Leadership isn't just a title, it's a decision you keep making, even when you feel unqualified, even when your heart is breaking, especially when you're scared and moving forward anyway. I've learned the hard way that leadership doesn't always look like confidence. Sometimes it looks like pacing hospital hallways, praying under your breath, and then getting back on a Zoom call like nothing happened. Sometimes it's being the calm voice for your kids when your mind is spinning, or holding space for your team, your spouse, your people, while trying not to fall apart yourself. If that's you right now, if you're leading through a storm no one can see, let me remind you of something. You're not failing. You're not weak. You're strong in a way most people will never understand. And that strength, it's changing everything. Well, if you made it through all of those four, you're not just watching content, you're probably doing the real work. And maybe, like me, this week didn't just play out on camera, it played out in real life. So, obviously, fear showed up this week in those stories, in the quiet moments, in the memories that some of us are still healing from. But so did trust, so did faith, so did strength, the kind that you don't even know you have until you're forced to find it. We talked about what it means to move forward without all the answers, what it means to lead while your heart is breaking, and obviously what it looks like to trust over panic when your family's future feels uncertain. These weren't ideas. These were lived moments, mine, and maybe yours too. So I just want to say that maybe you're in the middle of your own storm right now, and just let this be your reminder. You're not crazy. You're not weak. You are not alone. You are being strengthened, not punished, shaped, not forgotten. You don't need the perfect clarity. You just need to have enough peace to take the next step. So, faith over fear, not just a quote, a way of moving. This week reminded me of that. Maybe it reminded you too. I want to carry that into the next week and keep becoming who we're here to be. Motivate, inspire, align. I'll see you in the next one.